afternoon, everyone.
All right, we're going to get started with UTSA head coach Jeff Traylor, redshirt senior quarterback Frank Harris, and senior safety Rashad Wisdom. We're going to go straight to questions for either head coach or student athletes. If you have a question, raise your hand here. And for our folks on Zoom, make sure you use the raise hand function if you want to ask a question. We'll start in the room. Man, here's third row to the left.
Jeff, just what's the excitement level headed into this season?
It's high, but it's been high every year. You know, our very first year together, you know, it was all new, and we didn't know each other, and we had no spring ball, so we were excited about that. And then we had the unique deal last year where everybody was back. Our entire team was back, so we had all of our starters back, and that was exciting because obviously we were so familiar and we were so comfortable. And this year it's kind of a blend of those three things all at once. We've got 9 guys back on offense that are going on their third year to be starting for me, but we also lost, you know, 3 really great players in Leroy, Sincere, and Spencer. Defensively, you know, we've got some really good players back, but we lost a lot of really great players that are in the National Football League, you know, currently. And, you know, Tariq, you know, 5th round pick with Seattle. And then we lost Clarence, who was with the Bengals. And we could go on and on about the guys we lost. Chuck, you know, AP, we lost some really good players for nose guard. So that's where we got to replace some players. And one person that gets kind of overlooked that we lost is Hunter Duplessis, who's just, you know, automatic as a field goal kicker. But we've got some really good players returning, which was what makes this unique. It's going to be a kind of a blended roster for the first time this year. I know that was a long answer to a very short question, but that's how we feel. We're excited, but we've got some stuff to fix.
Ken, go ahead.
Frank, what's it like to be picked to win the conference this year after that amazing conference championship last year?
You know, it's a blessing, but that really doesn't mean too much. You got to go out there this year, prepare the same way, whether that's individual, you know, accolades or team accolades. We got to go out there and prepare and have a chip on our shoulder and go out there and compete each and every week like we've been doing.
And does it make any difference that you're leaving the league? This is kind of like the last hurrah in Conference USA?
No, sir. I think we just got to go out there and compete, take every game, game by game, go out there and execute and do what we've been doing and try to have another great season.
Jared?
Jared Lee Willie Jr., the College Sports Report. Coach, with all the excitement of last season, what has that brought to the community of San Antonio? How much has it changed the outlook of now you're going into the Alamo Dome? It doesn't look empty anymore.
Yeah, we were blessed, right? Our first press conference, December the 9th, 2019. You know, I came in there talking about we really wanted to be the football team of San Antonio. That was our vision. I didn't know Frank Harris and Rashad Wisdom that well. Then I knew of them from, you know, just knowing who they were through the ranks. Sincere McCormick, and I remember calling those guys in the very beginning and explaining, you know, our vision, and we really wanted to capture the city. And how lucky was I that my quarterback was going to be from Clemens, the leader of my defense was going to be from Converse, that both those kids were going to buy into me so quickly. It's been a blessing. And I've said this a million times before. We'll look back one day when UTSA is the fulfillment of what we see it as. And we will always look back at the leadership of Frank Harris and Rashad Wisdom and helping generate that excitement. Who couldn't love these 2 kids? What city? It just so happens we're the 7th largest city in the country. And they love the Roadrunners. Who wouldn't love the Roadrunners? If I'm a fan, I'd be cheering for Frank Harris and Rashad Wisdom.
And a follow-up to that, Rashad and Frank, you're from the area. The word, you know, is all around the NC2A. College coaches always talk about in the state of Texas, 50 miles, you can find what you're looking for. Talking about staying at home and making San Antonio proud. For both of you all.
I'll answer it first. I just think that was, you know, one of the goals when I committed to UTSA was to bring, you know, a championship and just bring some excitement to the city. I think we did that last season, but we want to just keep building on that. And I'm just glad, you know, that I was able to fulfill those dreams. I love the city of San Antonio. I just want to make them proud, and I think we're doing a great job at UTSA. I want to just keep building on that.
I feel as though, you know, when people talk about Texas football, they usually go more towards Dallas, Houston, those areas. But I feel like San Antonio football can hang with the best of them, you know, and I feel like Frank will feel the same way. And just like you said, that's kind of one of the big reasons why I decided to stay home as well, just to, you know, help build up the local program and kind of get this thing going. And, you know, from when I came on campus to now, it's a whole different program. And, you know, you see where we're at now, and, you know, this thing can keep on going, keep on building, as long as, you know, the rest of the local kids stay home and, you know, have the same feeling we do and have that pride to keep on building up and, you know, just continue the tradition of, you know, staying home and building up, you know, what we have here.
Matthew Bartlett from the Roost. Coach, what do you think is going to be harder, doing something that y'all never done before and last year and going winning out the conference, or coming back this year with the target on your back and everybody you being their Super Bowl?
I've been blessed because I've kind of got to do this before, and I've spoken of this. You know, the climb up is always the fun because no one expects you to do anything. But once you get in there, staying there is the hardest part because then you've got a target on your back every single week. Where we got fortunate, that first year we really exceeded everybody's expectations, right? And then year two, we were picked at least second, so we had a target on our back. But jumping out to that 10-0, you know, 11-0, we had a target on us for a long time. So our kids got used real quick. You know, Southern Miss did not have a real good record last year, but I might be off slightly, but it was a very close ball game going into the fourth quarter. We might have been behind. So there's a great example of where we learned a great lesson that week when we weren't at our very best, but somebody that wasn't as good played their very best, and we learned a lot as a program last year. But there's no doubt, to your point, the ride up, and we've exceeded that 2 years in a row. I believe Don Harris has put out something in San Antonio that says there's only been 12 wins in the state of Texas by a Texas school, like 10 times maybe in the history of the game. I might be misspeaking on that, but I believe that's what I read. And you know, if a media guy reports it, it's got to be true. So already we know that 10 times in the history that my kids are being pretty much set up for failure if y'all are going to grade us on that same scale next year. But, you know, I would never bet against Frank Harris and Rashad Wisdom.
Jeff Quiddle, you talked about your vision when you first got there. Now you've got a long-term contract. You've made a long commitment. They've made a long commitment to you. What does that do about building a program? Obviously, this is still a very young program, even though you're the third coach.
Again, I go back to my experience at Gilmer. I mean, you know, we won that first state championship in 04, and what do they want? They want another one the very next year. And then we got bounced, you know, early, and the next year we got bounced again early. And we had to we didn't have the infrastructure set up to last. We were kind of a flash in the pan with that first state championship. And then from 07 on, you know, that program at Gilmer it's built to last, right? And that's been my challenge to these guys right now. There's going to be some bumps in the road. We're still building infrastructure. We're still trying to get to a Power 5 level in our mind. But we just started football 10 to 11 seasons ago. So we've got a lot of things to get through. Players are what's most important, but we have to have a system that's built to give these kids what they need mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, nutritionally. There's a lot of needs a student athlete has to have, and our infrastructure has to be built in a way that we can sustain the success for the next 25 to 30 years. Because if you don't have that infrastructure in place, this game will eat you up and move right on by, because it's very competitive. There's a lot of people that want to be great. There's a lot of people, these kids are wearing their championship rings. There's a lot of people that want those championship rings, right? So we have to stay on the hunt. So we're now the hunted.
All right, next question, we're going to go to Zoom. It's going to come from John Rabbie from AP. John, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thanks for taking my question. This is John Rabbie from the Associated Press. This question's for Frank, and if you want to chime in after this, great. Now, focus and attention of the offense, at least from the outside, shifts from Sincere to you, right? Was there any added focus do you feel on yourself? How do you feel about that shift in attention, and how do you wish to handle it?
Yeah, talk about attention on you guys on your offense this year. You know, how do you feel about that, having that added attention on you guys this year coming from last year? And we'll go with that, Frank, and then Rashad follow up.
I don't think there's much tension on us you know, at the end of the day, football is football. We gotta go out there and compete. We gotta go out there and execute, watch film, take every game game by game. And at the end of the day, it's football, so you can't really think about it like that. You gotta go out there and have fun. At the end of the day, football is just a game.
Yeah, you know, just as far as having pressure is a privilege, and you know, it's just a part of it. Kind of just like what Frank said, we just gotta go out there and handle our business, and you know, at the end of the day, football is football, you know, and ultimately it's gonna fall on us to, you know, take it to where we want to and be as great as we know we can be. But you know, we gotta go handle our business starting, you know, really it's been started ever since, you know, the end of last season, but you know, starting first day of camp, you know, we got to hit the ground running and, you know, come in every day ready to work and be ready for, you know, another long season like we had last year. But I feel like, you know, with everyone in the building and being as bought in as we are, I feel like we'll be just fine. Just got to go do what we do.
Absolutely. Coach, Frank, Rashad, thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Thank y'all very
Good luck
much.
to you.
God bless.